Taka. So this is kind of an example of a Jamboard. It's just like a which one doesn't belong type atmosphere. And so these can be just simple examples. They don't have to be content related. They can be, but it can even just be something fun that the kids are doing while they're joining Zoom and while kids are coming face to face. So you kind of just gives them something to work on. And they just can add and drop in sticky notes, which is probably my favorite part of the Jamboards. The sticky notes are kind of right below the mouse icon. And there's a bunch of different ones that they can drop in. There's different colors. You can see, Beth, it has like a yellow one and a pink one. And they just drag their sticky note and move it to where they think it belongs. But it's nice because it can be a little anonymous for the kids, so they don't feel called out if they get it wrong. I say that in quotations. But there's tons of built-in colors if they really want to. So like this one is not round. And then it just kind of drops them all in and they can move where it needs to go. You can always rotate them. The kids always figure that one out first. You can always make them bigger. So if you want to talk about a kid's answer, you can make them smaller, all that kind of stuff. The sticky notes are really my favorite part, honestly, because it's always color-coded and it's easy for the kids to drop in what they think. There is a pen that's built in. So our kids do have a touch screen Chromebook, but I know sometimes it can be a little finicky. But there's highlighters, there's markers, there's paintbrushes, and there's all these kinds of different colors that they can pick on so they can draw, or they can circle something on the screen. Beth showed another option, which is the photo option. I don't have a camera because I'm currently on Zoom, but kids can use their Chromebook camera and drop in a photo of something. For CTE, business and marketing, maybe they want to drop in a photo from Google. They can also search Google within here. So like money. See, this is why we don't teach your subject. Like $1. And then it drops in pictures. So they can even brainstorm with different pictures and not have to go to like all these other places to find what they need. So it's, again, something just kind of built into one.
The Jamboard is run through Google, I see.
Yeah, exactly. So it behaves just like slides do, just like docs do. You share them the same way with the kids. Every kid can have a copy, or every kid can edit at the same time, kind of like what we're doing. But there's circle tools that are built in. So you can always like draw a circle on a student's sticky note. Hey guys, everything in the red circle, go back and check your work. Everything in green, I love this answer. Let's talk about these three, you know, something kind of like that. And then there's text, so they can drop text in there. And there's even laser pointers. So it just kind of creates this subtle thing that follows your mouse and then fades.
Oh, okay.
So again, something you can circle quickly on the photo, but it's not permanent. And that's kind of all the tools that the kids would have access to. If you're ready for the next class and you're like, man, I got a lot of stuff on here, I kind of want to start from scratch, you can always save what the kids did as a picture so that you can share it with them afterward. Like, hey, here was all of our thoughts today. And then you also have the option to clear the whole frame, and it starts you from scratch. So now I'm ready for my next class.
Okay.
There's backgrounds that are set ahead of time. You can do like a white background. There's dot paper, graph paper, line paper, blue board for architecture. The one that Beth and I probably use the most is the image. So you can drop in your own picture if you need to, or a diagram, something that the kids need to label.
Okay.
You can pull in from Google, you can pull from Drive, or you can just simply upload a picture that you have on the computer. And it'll stay put. So like kids, you can see I'm like clicking on it and it's not moving anywhere.
Right.
And then you can do as many of these frames as you want to. So like you can do this one as notebook paper. Here's one about the stock market. So you have like a bunch of, this was the one we did for the poor veterinary teacher, God bless. we really struggled here. But lots of different things you can drop in, and you can just add as many as you need. and you can always duplicate. So if you want to give each group the same slide, you can duplicate something that you have.
So you could, sorry. So you can save it. It's all like a slideshow, and you can use a different slide for each class.
Yeah.
Okay, so it saves as one, so you don't have to save it separately.
Exactly. I love that idea because then you can see what first period said or second period. I love that idea. Absolutely. Definitely. And that's kind of the basics of Jamboard. I like it because it's very simple. There's not too much distracting stuff to click on, and the kids kind of find that easier. The biggest kind of thing is that it's just this whiteboard with sticky notes is really all that it is. Everything that Beth and I just kind of showed you, if there's like a little tap here button, that kind of walks you through everything we just did together.
Okay.
And I want to revisit it. We just wanted to be sure you had that. But yeah, it's real similar to Google Slides. The only big difference is you have those sticky notes and you have some drawing capabilities.
Okay.
But it's the same thing.
I mean, I co-teach, I have virtual and face-to-face at the same time. So it'll be a really good way to get everybody involved all at once, because I'm always trying to find ways to get them collectively working, together. So, or, interacting even when I'm speaking. So I think that would be a really good way to kind of fuse the two.
Yeah, that's what we the next slide is what I'm talking about is like, before pandemic, you would do all these kind of fun discussions, innovative things in person. And then all of a sudden, like half of your classes at home or they're all at home, and it feels less accessible to do the fun discussion stuff where you get everyone involved.
Right.
And I think Jamboard gives you that platform to do it. So graphic organizers, everyone has access to it. I don't know if you've ever done a Frayer model, but that's where there's typically and this is a really great, easy kind of vocabulary tool, but you put a word in the middle and then the students are responsible for a definition, and then maybe in one corner they use that vocabulary word in a sentence appropriately, and then maybe in the third corner they give them there's a textbook definition and then a definition that they would use to explain it, and then maybe in the fourth corner it's a drawing of the word, so they really get the word. So this is one of many templates where you can kind of do some of those vocabulary practices. And then what I really like about Jamboard is that you can again do these things that used to be physical, but they're just there on your little slides that you have. So like exit tickets, when I used to literally give out Post-its before they left and then they had to turn it into me and it was a formative check, now you can just do it on Jamboard. Have them their exit tickets into the literal Post-its on Jamboard, and you still get that formative check for understanding what they didn't learn. Did they completely zone out the whole time? It's kind of nice because it is anonymous, so they don't feel like they're going to, get in trouble because they didn't say the exact right thing. And then for brainstorming and discussions, Jamboard is really great. So you can do your pros and cons. And again, it's anonymous, so kids have a little bit more confidence to write a bunch of stuff that they might not normally do if you're just calling on students, directly to them. The agree, disagree, that can cause a lot of good discussion, right? And you have 4 corners, and this is a really good debate tool. You pose a question of some sort, you do some research on it, and then you can agree, disagree. You're kind of in the middle, but lean toward disagree, or you're kind of in the middle and you lean towards agree. And then you put your sticky pad in there and you say, this is why I feel this way, and the evidence to why I feel this way. So, some good just instructional things that make the kids feel like they're not really having to work very hard, but they are actually thinking and participating and collaborating. So that's what we like about a lot of these templates, and the predicting is kind of similar. So you'll see in a minute, we have a ton of templates for you to choose from. It's almost overwhelming how many we have. So I'll let Lauren talk about the breakout room accountability.
Okay.
So some teachers have been using breakout rooms. It all depends on your kids. It definitely depends on the class.
Right.
But the biggest thing that like we've seen is usually when they're in a breakout room, it's like, how do I know they're doing what they're supposed to be doing?
Right.
And so this was kind of one option where every room basically gets a frame that they're, or a slide that they're going to work on. So this would be for room 1, here's my 4 kids, here's maybe 3 things that they took away, and then here's one big question that the room has. And then every room has basically one of these frames. And then me as the teacher, I can see, okay, room 1 is working, they're on task because they're on the slide. Oh, room 2 hasn't started writing yet. Let me go visit room 2.
So it's kind of one way to get them all, because a lot of times I have done breakout rooms and I just have them share, you know, whatever document they're working on with me so that I can, you know, peep in and check on them. But this is just a way kind of to have it all in one place, and I can just flip through the slides and see what they're doing.
It's a little more streamlined. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I like that.
And then, as you might have kind of seen, like it's easy to get kind of silly with the Jamboards, especially because it is anonymous. So it's a good opportunity to remind your kids of the importance of digital citizenship and to not be ridiculous on the Jamboard. So
yeah,
set out that reminder, because it's just because of the anonymous, I can't say that word, because you're anonymous.
Yeah.
You want to make sure, like, we're not going to like say these things, and we're going to be kind to, you know, all the things that you want to do. But you might need to do a reminder if you start using Jamboard often. So there's a website that kind of gives some examples on how to teach that.
The only last thing is a lot of the backgrounds, like the exit ticket template, the icebreaker, kind of had its own like custom background, I guess. Like this one was kind of made, this one was made. So some people kind of like, this one was made ahead of time. Canva is a great way to make your own backgrounds. It's definitely not needed. It's kind of like the sprinkles on top of the cupcake. It's extra, it's great, but it's not what's important. So we just wanted to provide a way, like if you wanted to make a custom background for your content, that's a great way to do it. But like Beth said, we have mostly a lot of templates because we're like, it's hard to take the time to do that especially when you have a lot of preps. Yeah. So this folder actually has all of these templates, and they're all titled really well, which is super helpful. But there's like a check-in template, there's a vision board, there's the Frere model, there's a 4 corners, there's a pro and con list. So that I think could be really helpful for business for sure. All different kinds of check-ins, agree or disagree, clothespins, drawing conclusion, the group notes. That was kind of where I got this one from. So that was kind of in here. Main ideas. It kind of just, it's like that. So it's a little overwhelming. There's a lot of templates. Some of them are obviously more elementary, like base 10, but like this or that is a really fun activity. Just, again, doesn't have to be content, but it can be, you know, have them pick.
I like the check-in one. I have obviously Sea Lunch, and so I have kids that are online, and I have them check in with me when they come back from lunch, and I usually have them just type in the chat here. And so being able to just, you know, post the Jamboard and have them respond on there would be a good option too. Yeah, absolutely. And there can be a way for them to, like, if they don't want to put their full name and tell you, like, I'm having a bad day, you can always say, like, put your student ID or put some other identifier that you know, but maybe another student doesn't know. Right. And it's also a good way to build classroom culture. Like, guys, it's okay that we're having a bad day. I've had bad days. You know, those situations are fine to have.
So, the best part of this is you get a non-duty hour to go to your 18 hours that we're all required to do. So if you tap on the form where it says tap here, all you need to do is create a Jamboard and of some sort, and you can use one of our templates and just tell us how you used it in your class, basically. Give us a little feedback. So if you do that, we will get your hours into TNL and you'll get an hour for that.
But yeah, I definitely will use it for a check-in method though.
That's perfect.